Hello everybody and welcome back to the West Ham Network. Anton here bringing you some of the updated news today, and one of the main stories I want to talk to you about is the kind of interest that came out last night with regards to Manchester United taking a keen interest in West Ham's Mexican star in the middle of the park, Edson Alvarez. Now, it would be silly for me to turn around and absolutely wipe out this rumour and think there's no element of truth to it. I do think there's an element of truth to it. I do think Manchester United will be interested. I do think many other clubs would be interested. Why? For loads of reasons, but he is a good player. He's a reputable international player. He's came into his first season in the Premier League and performed well. And when West Ham haven't had him, we struggled in the season. So he's got everything about him. He's got that bite, determination, you name it, and he has got the leader aspects. Now, Manchester United have obviously backed Ten Hag. Ten Hag knows Alvarez. Why? Because he used to be the Ajax boss, and he has also managed the player, so they've got that interaction with each other already. Would Alvarez be interested? Oh, I can't see why any professional footballer wouldn't be interested in offers that were put in front of them. Do I think it'll happen? Well, money talks. Money talks, doesn't it? So it would depend on the price, and I think no matter who we are, what team you play for, if a ridiculous offer comes in, you need to seriously think about considering it. Do I want it to happen? No. Could it happen? Possibly. Will it happen? I'm not so sure. Why? Well, he's a Tim Steidten player. He comes, on the back of a Tim Steidten recommendation. Tim Steidten went off cross there, made sure he believed in the project. And let's be brutally honest, right? Tim Steidten probably knew what was going to happen in the summer, i.e. David Moyes was going to leave. He also knew that we were going to get a new head coach. So I don't think Tim Steiden's brought in Mo Kudus and Alvarez on the basis of one season wonders. I think he's brought them in by going, do you know what? Give me a couple of seasons, I'll prove to you that the project will work, and if it doesn't, then we'll look at an option for you moving on. That's why we're hearing rumours of the Kudus release clause potentially coming into play in 2025. I think it's a good decision if we're going to have to bring in the quality of player that we're looking to do to make them convince them that they're going to, give it a shot at West Ham rather than give up after a season. Equally, though, as much as I'm saying that, money talks. Money does talk. If they offer a ridiculous amount of money, which Manchester United possibly could, then West Ham would have to seriously consider our options within that department. Now, I don't want to be a club that sells ridiculous amount of times all our best players. I don't. But equally, though, we can't look a gift horse in the mouth when someone turns around and goes, here's a ridiculous value for a player that's probably not worth the money that they could offer. And West Ham could play the game here a little bit. I don't want Edson Alvarez to go. I don't think he will go, but money does talk. But we do have to take things into consideration. Will teams be interested in him? Absolutely. Why? Mexican international, reputable midfield player, played first season in the Premier League and did very well. West Ham struggled without him when he didn't play, and he had big boots to fill in terms of Declan Rice's boots to fill. So West Ham can't afford to lose an Edson Alvarez. Why? Because I think he'll be potentially captain material for the new season. I genuinely think he is captain material, and I think he's a Tim Steidten signing. So Tim Steidten will have got his options, put them all in the order, and gone, do you know what? Give me a couple of seasons. Don't abandon this project just yet. We haven't qualified for Europe. That's not great, but I think there'll be an element of going, let's give this season a rock and roll, let's see what we can do with this season and progress from there onwards. And if we can't, then so be it. We'll look at options for you moving forward after that. And I think that's possibly what the agreement is. So we can't dismiss this rumour. Not whatsoever. Keep an eye on it, but I hope West Ham have got enough savvy to be able to go, if we are going to sell, we ask for ridiculous amounts of money. I don't think we need to sell an Alvarez, but if we are going to sell, we need to get bang for buck, as much money as we possibly can for an asset, because we're going to have to replace someone who's quality. But I don't think we will. I think Tim's done his job to convince these players to stay for at least another season. We have to remember, though, in order to get this quality, if we're going to be beating teams like Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal's two players, we're going to have to think that something's written into that negotiation to convince them to come to the club. And the likes of Kudus and Alvarez are those types of players that are and have been rumoured to and very strongly linked to some of those clubs that I've just mentioned. So, will I think Alvarez will go? Hopefully not. Money talks, but let's stay confident that he will stay and possibly have announced as West Ham's next captain. Come on, you Irons.